What is going on, my family? Your boy Demetrius is back with another classic Tekken 8 related video. Here we are going to talk about historically one of the greatest Tekken players of all time, and that is Holy Knee. That's what he likes to call himself. A lot of people just know him as Knee, and like I said, historically Knee is one of the greatest Tekken players of all time. But we're going to have to talk about something very serious when it comes to Knee and when it comes to Tekken 8 specifically. Last couple of months, it's been well documented when it comes to Knee and how Knee has been performing when it comes to tournaments, what he's been tweeting when it comes to Tekken 8. Knee has been one of those people. He has been very vocal from the jump on how he feels about Tekken 8 and how Tekken 8 frustrates him. When Knee lost the last time, well, we're going to go back to late October. We're going to go back to Evo, France. And Knee was part of the tournament. He was eventually knocked out in the tournament. He was knocked out in the tournament fairly early. He was sent to losers by Hafiz Tanvir. Shout out to Hafiz Tanvir. I did a video on him. He's potentially the future of Pakistan Tekken. You know what I'm saying? And then he was knocked out by DM Morales or something like that. I apologize if I get his name wrong. So that happened. Knee was knocked out of Evo, France. He was defeated by iMusician. And now Knee has come out and he has made some comments when it comes to tournament events about the PS5 Slim, which I thought was kind of interesting because this is not the first time people have complained about the console. I remember Punk said something about the controller issue when it comes to the PlayStation consoles a couple of months ago. So it's not the first time someone has come out and said something about consoles and controllers or something like that. But the point is, when it comes to Knee, I just kind of feel like when it comes to Knee and Tekken 8 in general, we just may be witnessing a natural decline when it comes to Knee. And that just basically brings me to the conclusion that it may be time to move on from Knee as far as Tekken 8 is concerned. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes to Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Tekken 7, Knee had his fair share of dominance in those games. But when it comes to Tekken 8, it's just not happening. And what I'm seeing is people are still calling Knee like the top 3 and top 5 in the world when it comes to Tekken 8. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with rooting. There's nothing wrong with believing and hoping. But I feel like people need to start coming to the realization when it comes to Tekken 8, look, Knee is not top 3. He's not top 5. And I don't think he's top 10 right now in the world when it comes to Tekken 8. And I'm seeing it all over the internet, all over Twitter. They're basically saying, hey, look, you're one of the best players in Tekken 8. Look, he's a great player. He's a great worldwide player when it comes to Tekken 8. But like right now, look, we got to be all the way real right now. Knee is not in the top 5 and maybe not even in the top 10. I don't have no type of pro player tier list in my head, and we're not even going to discuss that. But right now, what's been going on with Knee, I think it's really time for us to just kind of like, back up and move on and focus on other players that are doing well and doing much better than him. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And like I said, Knee has been the one person that he has constantly been vocal about what's going on with Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is reaching its third season. And look, while people keep on saying still one of the top 3 players in Tekken 8, Knee has not been making any progress. Let's just keep it all the way real. He's not been making any progress. I'm not saying this. This is not a hate video. I am saying this because, like I said, I follow and I pay attention to a lot of these Tekken Pro players. And I kind of see when this particular pro player has figured it out and this one has not figured it out and is struggling, and you got to come to the conclusion that this game is not suited for this type of player. And I'm putting Knee in that category because if you watch Knee play Tekken 8, Knee looks overwhelmed. Knee looks very frustrated. You feel what I'm saying? And also too, Knee look like he's out there kind of just going through the notion when it comes to Tekken 8. And look, here's the thing. In most cases in Tekken 8, that does work. But when it gets to the point where you're using that philosophy at events and your opponents figure that out, you're not going to have much success. And that's what's going on with Knee right now. Knee is going into these matches. It's like he's going through the notion. He's trying to find out what works, and he wants to stick with it, and his opponents are not having it. And I saw that when he went up against a Jung player a couple of months ago when he lost, where he was clearly just trying to get off with what works and continue to do it, and the Jung player just wasn't having it, and the Jung player defeated him convincingly. You feel what I'm saying? So I've seen that about Knee. Also, another thing that I also see when it comes to Knee is that Knee is too emotionally invested when it comes to Tekken 8. Now, I understand from what it looks like, Tekken is the only game that he plays, so I understand that. I understand that he plays because that's his life. You know, that's pretty much his job. I understand that. But I kind of feel like Knee is too emotionally invested when it comes to Tekken 8. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Y'all remember a few months ago, Arslan Ash tweeted to the world, and he told people when it comes to Tekken 8, he told people exactly this. Do not be too emotionally invested in Tekken 8. Go out and enjoy and live your life. Arslan Ash said that. If y'all don't believe me, go ahead and look it up. He said it. I mean, numerous people have done videos on it. And ever since then, Arslan Ash been on a tear. You feel what I'm saying? He's been losing tournaments, but for the most part, Arslan Ash has been on a tear because he decided not to be so emotionally invested in the game. I kind of feel like Knee needs to take that advice. I think he needs to step back. To be quite honest with you, even though Knee's not going to do it, I feel like Knee should go try to learn another fighting game. So from what it looks like I said, it does not look like Knee plays any other game other than Tekken. I kind of feel like Knee should go out and try another fighting game, try to go learn another fighting game, maybe go learn Fatal Fury or Soul Calibur or something like that, maybe Street Fighter. Just go out and have fun with another fighting game, and maybe that'll work. Because that's what Arslan Ash did. You know, Arslan Ash, he cut back on Tekken 8, and he went and played Fatal Fury. Came back, and now he has been on a tear ever since. And that does help with the emotional investment, you know, because, like, say, for instance, like myself, you know, sometimes, you know, when I get a little, I guess you could say a little burned out or a little bit too emotionally invested in Tekken 8, you know what I do? I turn around and I play Virtua Fighter. You feel what I'm saying? And it's kind of like a back and forth thing when it comes to both of those fighting games because I'm able to play them. I'm able to play them well and competitively. So I can go back and forth if I become too emotionally invested. So maybe Knee needs to, you know, check that advice out. You know, go learn another fighting game to keep from being so emotionally invested when it comes to Tekken 8, and maybe he can come back with a fresh attitude, fresh perspective. Maybe that can help. But I have definitely seen that when it comes to Knee. He is too emotionally invested when it comes to Tekken 8. I understand because, like I said, this is his life. This is like his job. Tekken is pretty much all Knee knows. You feel what I'm saying? So I understand that. But at the same time, you got to point out the issues on why, you know, he is struggling when it comes to Tekken 8. And then last but not least, Knee just seems to be almost 2 to 3 steps behind when he's fighting another great pro player. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And when it comes to a lot of these characters that he goes up against, it's like he has trouble keeping these characters in front of him. I'm not going to sit here and say that he has trouble with the character matchups, but he does have trouble keeping characters in front of him. Y'all feel what I'm saying? And like I said, Knee, he looks like he's out there going through the notion, trying to find what works and then just sticking to it, hoping that his opponent will fuck up, and that ain't really happening right now. So I'm kind of seeing that too. He always seems like he's just a couple of steps behind when it comes to Tekken 8. And like I said, the way that Tekken 8 is built, I understand that. Now, here's my thing. This is why I say it's time to move on from Knee. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm not saying it in a Barry type of manner. I'm saying it because, look, Tekken 8 is about to enter its 3rd season. Knee has just not figured it out. He's just not figured out a plan of attack when it comes to Tekken 8. Guys like Arslan Ash, who I think is the best Tekken player in the world. Guys like Olsen, who I think is the 2nd best Tekken player in the world. And a few other guys. Hafiz Tanvir, Hatif, the Korean Fang player. You know, they've all figured it out. John Ding, they've all figured it out. Knee still hasn't figured it out right now. And that's why I say for right now, we should just move on from him, back off, You know, look, stop calling him one of the best players that we have in Tekken 8. He's a great player, but like I said, there are a lot of other players out there that are doing better. And to a certain extent, I kind of feel like it's unfair how people continue to put Knee in this spotlight when other Tekken Pro players are doing better than him. Even from the Koreans. There's plenty of Koreans that are doing better than him. John Ding is doing better than him. John Ding almost beat Arslan Ash. You feel what I'm saying? Olsen, I've been saying this for a long time now. If Arslan Ash is number 1, Olsen is number 2. Olsen has beaten the Pakistani players consistently. He has beaten Arslan Ash consistently. He is a consistent Tekken 8 tournament winner. And that's why I put Olsen as number 2 right now. But it seems like right now it's like Knee is just overshadowing all of that. And I just don't think that's fair, especially the guys like Olsen. I just kind of feel like other guys should get some recognition for what they're doing when it comes to Tekken 8. Other guys need to get their shine. And like I said, other guys are just more successful than Knee right now. And like, look, it's okay to hope. It's okay. You know, it's okay to be a fan of someone and follow someone, but let's just keep it all the way real. When it comes to Tekken 8 is just not Knee's game. It's just not his game. You feel what I'm saying? It's not built for his mentality. And from what we're all seeing, Knee has not adjusted, nor he has adapted to what's going on in Tekken 8. Tekken 8 is entering his 3rd season. When is it going to happen? I'm seeing it on Twitter. People really honestly believe that Knee is going to break out from his Groundhog Day hole that he's in right now. I just don't think it's going to happen. I just think right now when it comes to Knee and Tekken 8, what you see is what we're going to get from here on out. Now, can Knee grind out a couple of tournaments or two over the next couple of years or the next year? Yeah, I believe he can. But right now, it just doesn't seem likely right now because he just has not figured things out when it comes to Tekken 8. He does not have a plan of attack. He does not go in with any type of methodical strategy or anything. I'm just keeping it all the way real. But y'all know how it is. When it comes to that real shit, people be on that bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? And to call a guy that's speaking real shit an idiot and all of that. I'll be an idiot. I'm sitting here literally watching what's going on with not just Knee, but with Arslan Ash, Olsen, and a lot of other people. And I'm seeing that when it comes to Knee, he just has not figured it out. He is behind right now. Knee is way behind all those other players that I have mentioned. You know, can he come back? Yes, but it is going to be a long process. Knee is not going to turn this around overnight. He's not going to turn this around 1 or 2 months from now because we were saying this a year ago. We would be like, okay, Knee is going to turn it around, and it just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. There hasn't really been a significant tournament win or anything. Now, I know I'm going to get some people in the comment section with some BS talking about, well, you know, Knee defeated Arslan Ash in the first to 10 and all of that. Let me tell y'all something. Arslan Ash don't give 2 fucks about first to 10s. Have y'all noticed that? Arslan Ash does not care about first to 10s. He really honestly don't. You know what I'm saying? Arslan Ash does not care about first to 10s. He does not take them seriously. Arslan Ash is all about the grand stage. He's all about winning tournaments, and he's all about winning things with his country of Pakistan. He doesn't care about first to 10s. So that don't count. It truly honestly don't. And my thing is, even though Knee, he beats Arslan Ash in first to 10s, Knee doesn't carry that momentum on into tournaments. He doesn't carry that momentum nowhere else when it comes to Tekken 8. So you can kind of sit there and say, it's still a problem that Knee has, because if you can beat the best Tekken player in the world in the first to 10, why isn't that momentum carrying over to a tournament, to an Evo, to a combo breaker, or whatever type of tournament? Why isn't that happening? Let's just keep it all the way real. People don't like what I be having to say, but you know, that's how it is when it comes to the truth. So this is the reason why I said it's time to move on from Knee. It's time to move on from Knee. And like I said, I'm saying it to basically, look, just let's back off and let Knee figure this shit out. We just need to let Knee figure this shit out. Stop calling him one of the top 3 Tekken 8 players, because he's not that. Knee is not top 3 right now. He's not top 5 right now. This dude is struggling. And if you ask me personally, I feel like we're just seeing a decline. I think we are seeing a natural decline of one of the historically greatest Tekken players of all time. That's all we're seeing. Now, I'm saying this from a Tekken 8 standpoint. Maybe when Tekken 9 comes out, whatever Tekken 9 has going on, Knee can adapt to that quicker than he can with Tekken 8. But when it comes to Tekken 8, he's just simply not able to do it. And who knows when he can. I don't think he's going to be able to turn this around anytime soon. Because one thing about Tekken 8 is just as mental as it is playing the game, picking up the controller. It's all a mental thing. And right now, Knee is mentally distraught when it comes to Tekken 8 right now. And that's going to take some time. He can come back from it, but I feel like it's going to take him longer than it took people like Arslan Ash and whoever else. Y'all feel what I'm saying? That's what I wanted to come on here and talk about, because like I said, you know, I follow a lot of these Tekken Pro players, you feel what I'm saying? And I do watch them, and I do analyze, and I do see what's going on, especially with Knee. I just kind of feel like right now, Knee and Tekken 8, you know, it's just not a great mix right now when it comes to Knee and Tekken 8. You know, Knee's mentality when it comes to Tekken overall is compromised by the game itself, by Tekken 8 itself. Knee is still trying to figure that out. And that's the reason why I said for right now, it's just time to move on from Knee. Let this guy figure it out. And whenever this guy shows significant progress, that's when we can start talking about, okay, I think Knee is probably going to take this over, or he's probably going to, you know, come out with this tournament win or whatever like that. We have to see that first before we just start. Yeah, Knee gonna take this. Yeah, oh yeah, I have my faith that Knee is the best in the world. Hey, look, it ain't nothing wrong with that, but we got to be all the way real right now. We got to be all the way real right now. When it comes to Tekken 8, this ain't Knee's game. This is just not Knee's game, and he's just got to figure it out like the rest of them did. You feel what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think when it comes to the whole situation, when it comes to Knee these past couple of months, and, you know, just the tough ride that he's been having when it comes to Tekken 8. And like I said, when I say it's time to move on from him, I'm not saying that in a negative light. I'm saying that because I kind of feel like other players such as Olsen, such as John Ding, Hafiz, you know, the Korean Fang player, Mogul, him, guys like him, they need they shine right now, because they are doing better than Knee right now. And I kind of feel like Knee is hovering this cloud over a lot of those Korean players right now, especially Olsen. Nobody talks about Olsen and all the things that he has done in Tekken 8. Nobody talks about him. It's always Knee, Knee, Knee. We talk more about Knee losing than Olsen winning. If Olsen beats Arslan Ash, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how Knee didn't even get to top 16 or whatever. And I don't feel like that's fair. So that's why I say it's time to move on from Knee, because other players, especially in Korea, are doing much better and are more mentally capable and suited to go out there and win worldwide Tekken 8 tournaments. That is just straight facts. But like I said, put your thoughts and y'all feelings in the comment section below. We could definitely get a conversation started. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to your boy for the hottest Tekken 8 action on the internet, period. My name is Demetrius. I will get back at you in the next video. God bless. Stay safe. I am out. Peace.